Mike, I suppose this one kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? It's going to the club's biggest rivals on Saturday.
Yes, I don't think we need to talk around it. There's obvious fact that there's 3 points at stake, which both clubs will be desperate to get. But we look at where the place we're in, and we're going there with confidence. But for me, I think the lads know, the majority of them have got enough experience to realise that one lap of concentration from a set piece and momentum, and that feeling can soon be forgotten. So for us, it's just all focus on exactly how we can prepare the best we possibly can, and we know how tough it's going to be. So it's going to be making sure that we're hitting maximum levels in every area.
I think we saw your team get close to that on Saturday, but similarly in the game that was at Stadium MK against AFC Wimbledon as well, that opening half an hour, your team sort of did all the business that they needed to do.
Yes, I thought we were extremely good at the weekend, and I think for me, going to play opponents, I'm more wary when an opponent's off the back of a defeat than the back of a win. I don't know, I can't give you full rhyme and reason, except for us, the emotional arousal is when we've had a setback. It's you want to put it right, and I think that's quite poignant in a group of lads. And there's no better game as this derby. But for us, it's just about completely blocking out the noise and again solely focusing on how we want to play and go about it, because we've seen when we do get to those levels and mainly focusing on out possession and transition, we're a hard team to play against. So we know how difficult it's going to be, and we're going to have to really try and win the battle and match in every area of physicality, and that could take 95 minutes so before it settles down, and that's the nature of these derbies. But it's paramount that we're full focus on that.
How do you block out the noise when it comes to a game like this?
I think it's just experience, really. I think the way I try and get across to the lads is the outcome is so important to us as staff and players and club and supporters, that the best way to try and ensure that as much as you possibly can is to be present every moment. And if you're solely focused on the objective right at that moment, whether that's defending a throw-in or a set piece, or it's regardless of the transitional moment, if you're solely focused on that, you don't hear the noise. And I think that's the key. There is no tools to actually, when your attention comes up and you feel the emotion, except just honing your focus on the job that we've got to do.
I suppose it's the opposite for the supporters, though, isn't it? They always want they thrive on these games. They're the ones that they look forward to, and this one would have been one of the first ones that have earmarked when the fixture list came out.
Yeah, of course, and that's the beauty of supporting. You can have the banter and the chats, and you can talk about the rivalry, and you can predict scores and outcomes and performances and things like that. And for us, it's just about the objective. We obviously want to give the fans something to shout about, so we know that's solely focusing on what we can control, and let them do the talking, and we just try and do the work.
Dan Kemp was put into the EFL Team of the Week, and he was in League Two Team of the Week as well. It feels like in the last few weeks something's clicked in him, and he's almost understood his position in this MK Dons team, I think. With Kempy, I think I've spoke to him a few times about it. His ceiling is extremely high because of his work ethic and his honesty. I think there's nobody questioning his ability and technically how good he is. And as a young player navigating his journey, he will go through peaks and troughs of outcomes in terms of assists and goals. But because he's such an honest, hard-working lad, he'll always gravitate to that, to the top end of the metrics. And he's a pleasure to work with. And when we watched his clips when he was out doing the business at Swindon, we knew what a character he was, and looking forward to getting back in. So for me, the outcome of all players are always going to vary, but just his input is incredible. So it is a privilege to work with him. And I suppose it's a slightly different role that he's playing as well, isn't it, compared to what he was doing at Swindon? Just because you've got players all over the park, and particularly in that area, that can somewhat pick up some of the slack that he was having to do at Swindon.
Yes, and that's been something that we've spoken about, because he seemed to have more of a freedom, and we try and give lads as much freedom as we can, but also that we've got players and we've got a structure that we believe is a strength of the football club. So he's got to understand that, which he has done. He's taken it on, but also just have that confidence in each other to allow them to get the ball to him. Because I think the main thing when lads in our structure go off script and go roaming is just because they want to affect the game and they don't feel as though they are. But it's just been a learning for ourselves and him to try and get the best out of him, and actually saying, look, when you're occupying this space, you're actually occupying players, because especially now he's done what he's done, and players fear him, and they know if he's standing in a bit of space, he's dangerous. So they have to make up for that. So it kind of stretches the opposition and gives other players that can hurt teams space as well.
And of course, one of those, Stephen Wern, who was also nominated in Team of the Week, and he's just been flying since he's come in.
Yes, and again, just a similar, like-minded lads. He works his socks off. I mean, I'm trying to kick him out of the gym every evening. He tells me it's his happy place, so which is fair enough. I can respect that. But yeah, he's a character. He's fit in. He's popular in the group just because his honesty and his hard work. We always knew that he's got the quality that he's produced. He's just come in and done it straight away, which is nice for him, but something we knew he possessed.
And we'll end on some injury news. How's Philip Marshall doing, and I suppose everybody else in the treatment room?
Yes, Phil was outside yesterday. I still think he's. It's one of them where it's kind of, from the physios, it's not too much to physically see, so it's just assessing through movement. So I think he's going to be potentially another week or so. But yeah, everyone's working extremely hard. Ronnie and Lex, and longer term, and they're working their socks off and getting their heads down, which is what you need to do. Tux again and Max, they're both not too far off each other. So yeah, they're getting to the point where they're looking forward now to that return. They can feel it, they can sense it, which I think will be a huge impact for us.